This is Deadside, arguably the most beautiful survival game in the world, but it's just one of 6 games I'm exploring today to see which one tortures me the least. Bro, I feel so short. It's unrealistic, I'm 6'5". To start, I dug up a game that's not even released yet that I discovered a few months ago. This is Vayne, and when you aren't committing insanely inhumane acts of driving, I was making a 3-course meal or amputating zombies. Come on! Vayne is quite literally a better demo than some AAA games when they actually release. And I know that's not saying much thanks to the Gollum game, but it's true. I have no idea where the fuck we are, but... Why is it not working? Oh, oh my... This thing's beautiful. Oh my... What is that? Eventually, I even figured out how to make my own base. This is the entrance. And this is my house. I also managed to spawn in a Lambo and took it for a very safe spin around the countryside. You could think of pretty much anything a survival game could or should have, and this game probably has it. And by the looks of their recent dev blog, they're going to be adding a shit ton more sometime soon.
Starting off with the map and environment changes, the new map is now out on Steam.
I did a lot of stuff, most of which I definitely cannot show on YouTube. I also put myself where I belong, cooked up a few of the insane list of meals you can make, but please, if you have 14.62 gigabytes of storage space, download this game. Pick up a keyboard and just start smashing. Also, whatever you do, do not go on the Vayne survival game Reddit. It is not being used for this game or moderated, so I've warned you. Seriously, actually don't do it. I think it's fair to say Vayne is the definition of a modern-day indie survival game, but back in 2014, survival games often looked more like this. Actually, not really, but NEO Scavenger did. NEO is a turn-based RPG survival game that'll genuinely make you question life within a quarter of an hour at best. And something about turn-based games being hard just makes it harder. Whenever it goes tits up, I can't mash the shit out of my mouse or take the anger out on an innocent animal. It's just buttons with cooldowns and the most soulless character staring right at me. I genuinely had to take a fucking walk after playing this game, and I only lasted 25 minutes. 24 minutes longer than usual, but I barely got anything done. Every time I respawned, I got out of the lab, ran a little, hid my tracks, and then, as always, ran straight into a wild dog man. Oh shit. Dogman. That's the infamous Dogman. What am I gonna do? However, the possibilities in a game like this probably even eclipse Vayne, and all you have to do is ask one of the hundreds of people with thousands of hours, if they're still alive, and I'm sure they'd tell you just how beautifully elegant this game is, and definitely not a mindfuck that the second that download finishes, the life you knew before it instantly vanishes. Nothing you can do in this game really makes sense, and that's kind of the beauty of it. Also, if you die, you have to restart. Like, it's hardcore permanently. You have no option but to bend over to the difficulty. Remember Deadside? I have 3 videos and over 25 hours on this game, and somehow, I still love it. Deadside originally came out in 2020 and is quickly rising as a big survival game just 3 years later, but definitely has a ways to go. It's pretty much Scum and DayZ, but without zombies, and instead you have these AI patrol groups that walk around and try their fucking best to take you out. What? Oh, what the fuck? Obviously, like DayZ, you're always on big servers, so the more you get into fights with these little AI gremlins, the more real human gremlins come sniffing you out for that shitty pistol with 8 bullets you just spawned in with. What? I'm not here, I'm not here, I'm not here. I'm not here. Holy shit, where did he come from? I loaded up the game today with the goal of getting to my stash in the safe zone, but turns out I have nothing. Ah! Also, apparently I missed this, but recently the developers have decided to make the safe zones unsafe zones. Other people can now kill you in the safe zone. And don't even think of trying to build a base when you launch up Deadside, because you're more likely to have Elon Musk double your Bitcoin than successfully making your own house. It personally took me over 8 hours and 3 tries just to make the base, and this was the result. Alright, after what feels like roughly 20 hours, we've made a wooden box. I used it for about 20 minutes, respawned in it, grabbed a gun after dying, ran back to where I died, and then after finding nobody, I logged off, because I just spent 3/4 of my day grinding Deadside, and that's probably not something to be proud of. I said this game was beautiful, and it is, but as a survivor game, it just feels unbalanced in every single way possible. But it did take Rust 10 years to get to where it is today, and they're still adding homing launchers in 2023, so Deadside is still a tiny little degenerate infant in comparison.
The bright sparks at Facepunch have added a homing missile.
But if you're still looking for that new survivor game that ticks a lot of boxes, like being a walking simulator, having some pretty awful combat, then give it a go, because Deadside does have a dedicated community of people who keep coming back for some reason, almost like a pay-to-degraded type deal, so the game can't be that bad. Next up is Void Train, a survivor game that was initially only on Epic Games and now recently released onto Steam, but the reviews aren't great. However, Markiplier played it once. I tried it out and it was fucking amazing, once I figured it out. Oh! No, still not. Oh, I can just swim up. Alright, never mind, I take it back. I am the stupid one. A couple bugs that we won't talk about. Don't change your input key because it seems to give the game a heart attack. It's kind of giving me a clue. Okay, I can't close the menu. Alright, well, this game was fun. If you haven't ever seen this game, then imagine Raft on a train in the void with 0 gravity. That's quite literally what this game is. You move the train along, grabbing resources off the side, and occasionally you arrive at stations or places where you can get loot and advance the story. Kind of like the islands in Raft. The first stop I got to gave me some blueprints and also taught me that steaming water is hot. The game itself was easy, a lot like Raft, and after the shitstorm I'd been through that day so far at the hands of the Dogman, I needed this. After I got out the first station, I got taught about expanding the train, which is what this game is kind of all about. Erecting a longer train to feel better about yourself. Build a module. Oh, that's sick. After this, the game decided to send me to another dimension, still in the void, but this time with different materials. It took me about an hour to get here, and by this point I felt pretty proficient with the game, so I ended up stopping here. But I really wanted to see what a maxed out void train would look like, and it's something. Since this game is infinite, you can kind of just go forever. In fact, if you want to know how this game works, just ask yourself, how does Raft do it? And the answer is probably right there. There is a research tree you can technically max out, and there is an end to the story, but the end isn't actually out yet, and each update tends to extend the story a little bit. So there's that. Out of all the games I've played so far, Void Train is probably the most buggy, but it's also one of the newer ones, and as long as development isn't derailed, it'll probably become pretty good sometime in the future. Oh, and there's these ugly fucking void rats that are virtually impossible to hit. What is that? Now, we have 2 games left, and probably one of the most wholesome stories I've ever recorded, so if you're still watching, you may as well consider subscribing. Start Over, the survivor game pretty much nobody knows about. Like, literally only 100 odd people. Start Over was released in April of 2023, and it's kind of like those other indie survivor games that just seem pretty pointless. But this game's kind of different. It's a lot like Rust in the sense that you can join servers, make your own bases, and survive. But when I joined this one server, I saw a name across the other side of the map that looked pretty familiar. I didn't realize how far away the other side of the map really is, but it took me a good 20 minutes to get there. Before you ask, no, his name wasn't Rye. That was some kind of glitch. After I pulled up, it took him a while to realize I was actually there, but then he saw me and began running over. Oh, that's a big green laser. Come on, friendly. Hey. He's reloading! I'm being absolutely used, but it's fine. He's gonna give me the money, he's gonna trust me, and I'm gonna go buy a gun and ammo. Down here. How the fuck have I ended up in this situation? Turns out this guy saw potential in me, or maybe profit, and trusted me enough to take all his money and go buy ammo for him. So not only was I enslaved, I was trusted with thousands of dollars, all within minutes of knowing this random guy who I also thought was named Rye. Unfortunately, I went the wrong way and then arrived at the wrong village where they didn't sell the right ammo. Once I eventually got to the right village, I crashed and lost my quad bike, meaning I just lost a lot of storage space and easy transportation. I did eventually get this guy his ammo, and he was very happy. By the time I got back, he'd even upgraded his entire base to stone, and that's honestly fucking impressive. Oh, wait, he's upgraded the base. Look at that. Look at this, he's upgraded the entire fucking thing to stone in like 15 minutes. This man was just grinding by himself in a server with no one else, and even after I logged off, I'm sure he was still there just playing away. And that's kind of the beauty of these games. I didn't play for more than 20 minutes before I made a friend. That house was a work of art. Kind of reminded me of those 2011 Minecraft houses you'd make in creative, but what about the game itself? The graphics obviously aren't special, and honestly I kind of prefer the NEO scavenger graphics, but it's the same as all of these other indie survival games. They all use the same techniques with similar assets and all kind of look like twins as a result. The NPCs are obviously a nice change, but apart from that, the game doesn't offer anything crazy. However, this footage I took was actually a couple months ago, and since then the development has come a long way, including a brand new fucking map. So I can't even really shit on the old map anymore, which looked like an art project I made in year 5. The new map is very different, with an entire mountain range, a distinct lack of trees in most areas, but it does look better. They've also added a new rifle, horses that you can ride, and, of course, alien encounters. And alongside those alien encounters, there's also alien technology that you can sometimes find. But either way, I think the future for this game is bright. I gotta go. Man, it was nice playing with this guy. It's kind of wholesome. Alright. Lonely. See you later, bro. Earlier I mentioned raft, and Sunken Land is quite literally raft, but without a raft. I know that sounds confusing, but it's actually pretty simple. I guess you could also compare the game to Stranded Deep, where you can build both on land and on water. Depending on your mental state though, don't even bother putting the difficulty to insane, because it is just as bad as it sounds, and you'll probably end up growing a hatred for those ugly fucking clothless scumbags. They also really didn't like me either. Alright buddy, I'm dead. Okay. There are islands that don't have these inhabitants, but those are extremely hard to find, as I found out. First, I created a perfect character, and then it was time to swim from island to island. In the safe zone, I got myself pretty geared out and even had a flintlock pistol, but as soon as I rocked up to one of those water camps, I was anally probed, and on top of that, I discovered all I had was one bullet in my flintlock pistol. Okay. I tried getting my stuff back many times, and eventually I had to create a new character and a new world just to be able to get back to the island without the naked, faceless people. All I really wanted to do after that painful experience was build an ocean home. Thankfully, building in this game is probably the easiest I've ever seen. All you need is wood and you can make pretty much anything you want, which is genuinely amazing. I know survival games are meant to be tough, but fuck all that. Needing nails, glue, lube just to build a simple shed. Please give my ocean home some compliments, because I went through a lot this day, and Sunken Land saved me. That is one perfect house. I cooked up some crab, furnished the house, and then decided to call it a day. Sunken Land has just released, so the game is still pretty bare bones, but the concept itself is good, and it has more potential than 99% of other indie games. So I really hope Vector 3 Studios keep with it and create something that could even surpass the likes of Raft. As always, thank you for watching the entire video. This did take me a while to get together, and if you want to see some games feature on this channel, put a comment down below and it might just make its way into the next video. Also, we're almost at 100k subscribers, which is genuinely crazy to me. It's like a lifelong dream for me. So for anyone who is subscribed, thank you so much. It means a lot.